Hello, it's kind of here for some meditations. Oh, nice. Yeah, for some not meditations, for some book analysis stuff. To continue the video from Friday last week, from Thursday, because yes, we did not finish it. But it's a long video, and we still got like 50 minutes to edit. But it's full of wonderful information, which is the best part. So today we've only got about an hour or two. We're just going to go through, keep clarifying or elaborating on the information that's spoken about in the book, and we're just going to keep putting the dialogue together. We won't have time to get into any animations or anything today, but just keep building the dialogue and hear what's actually being said about nature and all of that sort of stuff. It was good stuff. And hope the file doesn't corrupt, because that's where we finished off last session. We thought the file was corrupting, so we deleted the corruption part, as you will, and tried to save it and leave it all. But it seems okay today. It seems okay for now. Let's not jinx it. Let it go. We are following with change. We are flowing with it. There we go. Or to pan out in a certain light, then we give allowance to suffering to come in, because it's the outcomes, the emphasis we place on the outcomes or the way things are, that allows us to suffer. It allows us to cause harm, as you will it to go. We are following with change. We are flowing with it. We are a part of it, and everything we are and everything that happens outside us is all flowing towards change. Marcus is saying we are not to derive our well-being from external events, external circumstances, external people, but we are to find that within the soul. Technically, thoughts and stuff are flowing with change as well. So literally everything that encompasses us is just flowing with change. And apparently it's undetectable change to an extent. So it's like a quantum field, and I don't know fully much about this, need to delve into more physics. It's like the quantum field or something, and there's particles and waves within this field, and technically the particles don't have a set point because they are somewhere within like the wave or the energy, so you can't determine specifically where it is. Therefore there's never like a constant that we can actually see. It's always moving. I don't know, fix me if I'm wrong, or elaborate. Find that within, if you have anything in ourselves, and pursue life with this realization of change and flowing day by day with it, with that purity, as we repeat literally like every day, of soul and the realization of life. With it, with that purity of soul and the realization of life. And why is change talked about so much? It's because it is like, you may think that's overemphasized, like, oh wow, everything's changing, and it's just yapped on about. But it's talked about because to understand the change is to, I guess, yeah, like we said, understand the nature, the fundamentals of what's actually going on. And when you understand the fundamentals, you can figure it out for yourself a bit more. It's like soccer. If you know the fundamentals, then you can continue to learn. But if you don't know the fundamentals, then you're just all over the shop. You don't know what you're doing. For the soul to give up when the body is still going. when the body is still going. Meaning, in this places, meaning do not still going. Meaning do not allow your soul to fall into turmoil, or at least help your soul get out of turmoil if your body is still going. Because if your body is still going, fall into turmoil, or at least help your soul get out of turmoil. Soul get out of turmoil if your body is still going. Because if your body is still going and it's just your soul that's suffering, or just your internal state, then that is from your own mind, and you have to take some responsibility for that and determine the reality that you see, which can come from a range of different strategies. And yeah, talk about it all you want, ask questions, anything, but it comes from inside. Inside. Yeah. Inside. That determines your reality. Don't give up your internal soul if you can still function in this reality that we live. Essentially, don't give up if you're still functioning. Your soul's still working, then where's the giving up take place? I guess there's some brutal endeavors people can endure, but if they're still functioning, attempt not to give up. And sometimes the toughest hardships can actually provide the most benefit to individuals. Given people can actually awaken from hardship, they can alter their perspective on life, or they can, due to their overcoming such hardship, if they manage to overcome such hardship, then adversarial growth, the strength they build from it, or the perspectives they build from it, can actually greatly benefit those individuals. But I think if they endure it properly, as far as I know, a lot of people will decide not to endure it properly because it's too difficult, it's too tough. They don't know how to, because the world's confusing. Okay. We live. He says, I can control my thoughts as necessary. Then how can I be troubled? What is outside my mind means nothing to it. Absorb that lesson and your feet stand firm. You can return to life. Look at things as you did before, and life returns. True. Essentially center yourself on the fundamentals of reality, and then explore your perceived life once again. And to emphasize this fact, he says, things can't shape our decisions by themselves. No one can stop you from living as your nature requires. Nothing can happen to you that is not required by nature. I can control my thoughts as necessary. That as well, it's essentially saying, like, I mean, all of this talks about how suffering is caused by oneself. Suffering stems from mind, which is a big Buddhist approach as well. Apparently a Stoicism approach too. Stoic approach. But how suffering is derived from mind. Everything that we know, see and do is part of nature to an extent. Like nothing can really go against nature. Stuff can. More like saying what you pursue in life, regardless of if it is. I think Marcus Aurelius states following nature is to align with like community. or to align yourself with nature and seeing nature. So life seeing life, but also looking after one another. That's his take on it, because I guess animals look after each other and stuff as part of nature. Our innate feeling is to look after each other. A feeling of presence always stems into a feeling of compassion towards the things around you as well. So, but nothing can happen to you that is not required by nature. Pretty much whatever happens is part of nature at the end of the day. If it happens in life, then it just happens. So, is it good, is it bad? We don't know. Do we place good and bad on it? Yes, we do. Do we place judgment on everything that we do? Most of the time, yes. Do we ridicule for bad action and praise for good action? Yes. You know, stuff like these expectations and these emphasis and these values we place on things, which determine how we actually feel towards them, and they determine how we feel. So essentially, Marcus is saying, you know, strip away the need for things, strip away the expectation of things, and just be in awe of it while it's before you as a part of nature. And be in awe of actually being part of nature and experiencing nature for yourself. There's nothing that you really, really need to do. That's all within your own mind. I can control my thoughts. And that's why we're saying explore the world. Like, you understand the nature of it before you pursue the goals which you wish to achieve. Because if you don't understand the foundation of life first, then the goals you wish to pursue are probably going to cause you more suffering than if you weren't to pursue them. To an extent. No, not really. That's all up to the person. But they will cause you more harm than if you were to foundate yourself on life first and pursue from life first. Because then you're clinging to a goal to portray your identity, to portray your well-being, and so you're attaching yourself to a goal to give your sense of purpose and your sense of value, you know. And how can I be troubled? Doesn't really work. What is outside my mind means nothing to it. Absorb that lesson, and your feet stand. Works in like the ego world. Lesson, and your doesn't work in the get rid of suffering world. Steep, and your feet do it. Absorb that lesson, and your feet and your feet stand firm. You can return to life, look at things as you did before, and life returns. Nice. Clarifying that taking that emphasis away from self. We've learnt about this a lot in anxiety as well. Emphasis on self is not good. Attention towards oneself. So putting too much attention towards oneself when navigating social situations amplifies our anxiety, and it most likely causes negative self-assessments given the environment we're in, at least for people with social anxiety. Clarifying that away from placing taking that emphasis swallowing. Taking that emphasis away from placing things on life and allowing it to flow before you, it does not take away from before you, it does not take away from the life we live or the meaning that we give to it. You more de-emphasize its impact on you, and you see it for the reality that it is instead, and follow with the impermanence of life, and follow with the impermanence of life, and follow how life actually how life actually pans out. Impermanence of life, and follow with the and follow with how life actually pans out. How life actually pans out. And from this place of seeing life before you, understanding the change and not attaching yourself to so many things, that is when we detach, that is when we can see life before us for the reality and pursue it once more. You don't have to give up everything. Just understand you have control over everything. Well, not full control, but mind control, perception control. Fun. Perception control, very helpful stuff. Takes believing it to achieve it. Also takes practicing actually doing it, and probably understanding of the perspectives, or the wrong and right ways of seeing things. The ones that cause further restraint and the ones that cause benefit to oneself and reducing of negative symptoms. Then he goes into Then he goes into confidence founded on understanding. We are founding our confidence within oneself on an internal state which has an understanding of on an internal state which has an understanding of life, an understanding of how the world works without overemphasizing everything within it. He says, emphasizing everything within it. Emphasize was a big word for us last week. Value is another word we could use. The more value you place on stuff, the more feeling you derive from it. He says to exaggerate the point of emphasizing Marcus states either he says to exaggerate the point of emphasizing everything within it. To exaggerate the point of emphasizing, Marcus states either pain affects the body, which is the body's problem, or it affects the soul, but the soul can Hello. Here we go. Or it affects the soul, but the soul can choose not to be affected, preserving its own serenity, its own tranquility. Bro, I'm getting about to fume if this actually corrupts. Just more and more parts of the videos is starting to fuck up. Now the whole file is fucking up. It infuriates me, this fucking corruption system at the moment. Look at that. So what's going to happen over the next day, the whole fucking thing is going to melt down and I won't be able to do shit. So good. Our recording might even go down the drain. That would actually be really good. And fucking 20 hours wasted. Unless you enjoyed those hours, they're not wasted. Point of emphasizing, Marcus states, either pain affects the body, which is the body's problem, or it affects the soul, but the soul can choose not to be affected, preserving its own serenity, its own tranquility. All our decisions urges, desires, aversions lie within. No evil can touch them. To erase false perceptions, tell yourself, I have it in me to keep my soul from evil, lust and all confusion. To see things as they are and treat them as they deserve. Don't overlook this innate ability. I'm gonna have to finish attempt to finish the cutting of the video and then export it and then do the editing, because yeah, we need saved files. Lift me up, because this file is probably going to go in the and help me wherever you. That's what I'm guessing. Every time I've ever seen a glitch like that ever, my file has just fully corrupted and deleted itself. So you will. My spirit will be gracious to be there, gracious and satisfied as long as its existence and actions match its nature. If your soul has responsibility for your internal well-being or for how you heal, then no matter the environment you're in, you always have you and your soul. You always have this place of presence and peace. For how you heal, then no matter the environment you're in, you always have you and your soul. You always have this place of presence. Have this place of presence and peace. Everything external to us moves around. We're not with it forever. We always have us. We always have our soul. We always have our mind, at least while we're alive, as far as we know. So build this soul. Create a foundation for it based on understanding, and that soul will be with you. And that soul will be with you with any environment that you're in. To overcome more emphasis and to realize the bigger picture or the more simplistic picture of life. Marcus Aurelius says there's two characteristics shared by gods and men: not to let others hold you back, one, and two, to locate gods and men, not to let others hold you back, one, and two, to locate goodness in thinking and doing the right thing, and limit your desires to that, not to be overwhelmed by what you imagine, but just do what you can and should, and if you suffer in inessentials, not to treat that as defeat. It's a good one. This can come. Does. We can struggle with what we don't have, that we overlook what we do have, and then we can suffer in our pursuit to obtain what we don't have, instead of being happy with what we do already have. And that journey towards obtaining it doesn't mean we can chuck it away to fall in peace. It means we can still pursue it, you just gotta pursue it from a different place. You gotta stop trying to obtain that item to formulate your happiness. And you gotta just enjoy the journey. Whatever progress you make in a day, that's the progress you make in a day. Don't beat yourself up and don't praise yourself. Just go with it. It's fine. It's life. As long as you're experiencing life, that's the main thing that matters. Anxiety over projects, it probably stems to a lot more things in life, but we suffer in imaginations because but suffer in imaginations because we depict these goals we have to achieve, and when we're not working towards them we can guilt, and when we are we can feel more positive. Towards them we can guilt, and when we are we can feel more positive. We can guilt. Sounds good. But we can also burn out and we're not appreciating the moment for where it is. Marcus, should I even do book reviews? That's a question. It's good information. Lots of learning. But technically we could just read books and then break them down into topics and write about the topics and have blogs for them. Just saying, don't be overwhelmed by what you imagine, just do what you do and live in accordance to life. Meaning don't place your well-being on the outcome of things. Meaning, don't place your well-being on the out. Your well-being on the outcome of things. Place it in just being able to pursue life itself. We say life seeing life. Derive your well-being from seeing life before you and experiencing it, rather than the illusions we make up in our head that we have to achieve certain things, that we have to do certain things, that we have to be certain ways. It's all illusions we play and attach to, and that is what causes our downfall. That is where the harm is formed. Because as soon as things don't correlate with this depiction that we've played in our mind, then we suffer for it. We reject the new reality that we are actually pursuing. Rather, you got to pursue the reality that you're actually pursuing and appreciate the reality that you're actually pursuing. Do not suffer in essentials. It is a bad habit, and the more we do it, the more it becomes a part of us and a part of our nature to derive things from the expectation we place on them. It says, oh no, the mower is going to go off. Is that correct? Place on them. Stating that pride is the master of deception. When you think you're occupied in the weightiest business, that's when he has you under its spell. I need to think for a second. I'll be back. Hello. So that took so long. All honesty, we're sitting on the couch, tossing up if these book reviews are even worth it. I think it's a lot of good information. And it's good to, I guess, reteach good information and recall it for yourself as well. Like, you can go back through it and gain full understanding, which is helpful. But I don't know. For one, I feel like this file is going to corrupt, which is just going to remove everything. And that's just painful. Two, the process of making this is taking like multiple weeks, which I feel like we've already got enough in our place, especially with uni starting up again. We'd rather focus on blog writing and meditations videos and topic videos rather than adding other stuff. 3, it's slowing down reading progress like no tomorrow and meditation progress like no tomorrow. Not like no tomorrow, just usually we wake in the morning and we read for an hour and meditate for an hour and then try and jump on stream at like 8 or 9 o'clock. Lately it's been 9, today it was 10. Last week we missed 2 streams because now we read, then we're trying to record all this information on a laptop, and while I'm reading I read like a paragraph at a time and having to record stuff. So that I can, I don't know. I'd rather just read, honestly. It's kind of taking the relaxation away from reading. You can certainly learn a lot there. All honesty, I think today we're going to stop making this. I feel like there's already enough book reviews or analysis. I guess it doesn't really delve into it. I don't know. Analysis videos out there. We're coming to it, looking at it today. I'm kind of like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is gonna take at least 3 or 4 more days. On top of that, it could corrupt. On top of that, we don't even reading the books currently that we're reading, it's really taking away from the reading because we're writing on the phone 24/7 instead of just reading the book and learning for ourselves. And we don't even know if we want to continue spending weeks doing book analysis videos. Rather, we can just talk about what we're learning in the book during meditations videos on the days that we learn them. And then we'll just share them on meditations as we go. And if there's any big deep topics such as social anxiety for the book we're reading currently, then we can tackle that subject in a blog, And then we can make a video on the blog. That seems like 10 times better, honestly. I don't know, it was just a thought today. We gotta focus on other stuff we feel, maybe. And we're starting streams super late because we're wasting time writing about stuff we've just learned in a book so that we can make a video on it at the end of the day. Anyway, thanks for listening. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do book reviews anymore. Not that we really started, we just started, but I guess today our frame of mind's kind of like, we don't want to do it. Seems unnecessary. Especially when we are so behind on blogs to write. We need to still write Life is Life. We have a social anxiety blog coming up. We could have written on Marcus Aurelius a lot of the topics. We've written on impermanence, which is a very deep one. But yeah, no more book reviews, we don't do. So for confusion, didn't mean to be confusing. Yeah, I might end the stream there for today, and I don't know, I feel like I just gotta think over a few things. And we'll be back tomorrow to move forward with whatever we choose to do. But we're a little confused and stagnant right now, so we will be back. Take care, people.